Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the enthusiastic table show. On this show, we have decided to go with option number 4, which is where we have decided to host the show, and we'll be looking at chapter 1 of the fundamental issues, which is the importance of a teacher, educational psychology as well as child development. I, the host, Mr. Hans Mkhasedi, 25608462. I repeat, 25608462. And I'm here with my dear colleagues, Mr.
Clinton Murray, U24613640.
Tabumatea, U25617606.
Legana Simon, U25608046.
And here we say we believe it is with privilege and honor to welcome you to the enthusiastic table show. As we have mentioned the topic, the chapter, we're going to be looking at a very important chapter where we address or we look at the importance of the teacher, educational psychology as well as child development. With this platform, I'd like to give Mr. Mansell to give us the take on the importance of a teacher from his perspective.
Okay, firstly we have to ask ourselves, why do we need teachers? Teachers are considered to be one of the most important members of the society because they are the backbone of any country and also change lives and give children purpose. Teachers do not only transfer information, but they also take duties of others, such as parents. Teaching is not only about a learner's academic achievement, but it is also about a learner's psychological development and how they develop as a whole person. We have to look at some of the challenges that our teachers face at schools, which are teachers in school face situations where they must become dynamic and versatile with responsibilities that exceed traditional academic tasks at schools. We also have system failure where there's lack of basic facilities such as labs and also libraries, and there's also a concerning issue of grade 4s not being able to read for meaning. And how does all this impact teachers? Working in a rigid environment, it is overwhelming and there is heavy administration tasks which leading to low morale. And teachers deal with learners that comes from broken homes, where there's abuse and also violence, which can negatively affect a child's psychological development and academic success. So that's all from me.
Yeah, and then to add on that, I think we can agree that the teachers, they play a very important role, as he has mentioned, Mr. Mansell here, that teachers, they are the ones who craft each and every child to become something. Hence, we are having different careers from different personalities, which are already being crafted by the journey of being teachers from early age until adulthood. With this platform also, I think, based on what you have mentioned, if we try to interact with educational psychology, which I believe Mr. Legala and Mr. Muriri here will give us more of an intake on that. So what would you say, what would you like to give us on that part of perspective?
I will be talking about educational psychology. The first element of educational psychology traces to Plato and Aristotle. They emphasized the role of a teacher, individual difference in learning and emotion, the relationship between a learner and a teacher. Definitions of educational psychology elicits different opinions. However, the core elements are learning and development. The definition of educational psychology is defined as the scientific studies of principles and theories related to learning and development. These theories and principles involve a plethora of concepts related to learning, such as physical development, personality development, social development, and cognitive development. Educational psychology includes variety of subthemes such as moral development, self-concept, identity development, exceptionalities, e.g. giftedness and disabilities, mental health and assessment.
Yes, Mr. Legal, I agree with you. On that part, now, you have emphasized it a bit. But then, here's my question. We'll have to expand more on that part.
I'll give it to Mr.
Mr. Moreri here.
Mr. Moreri.
Mr. Moreri, what's your take?
Now we are going to take a look at the important parts of educational psychology in preparing you as a teacher. Educational psychology helps us see how the learners think, solve problems, and memorize things. Having as much knowledge as possible about learners help us assess them as they grow, as the grades get high. It is essential for teachers to understand how learners think and do their everyday tasks, because that will help us get them to achieve their life milestones. You must have the necessary knowledge to help children with special needs, like the ones with mental disorders like dyslexia and autism, and also the children with physical disabilities. An important aim of educational psychology is to help us prepare learners with a healthy and a well-mannered life. It is the cornerstone of teaching. It can play an important role in determining the learner's future. Knowledge will also help us to grow as teachers as well, because when we know about the learners that we work with, it will help us be able to deal with those situations in the future. A significant aim of educational psychology is to prepare learners, teachers for the future, especially for the challenges it might bring. That is all I have for you today.
Wow, impeccable. I'm glad because you guys did emphasize that part. And which I believe on my side, wouldn't I based on the part of child development, I believe I would like to give my intake on that part, because as we do know, child development is the process of developing children physically, cognitively, emotionally, socially, and as well as languagely based, which are the changes that occur from the stages from birth through adolescence as well as to adulthood. So under with that concept we mentioned, I believe there's an important fact that we need to take into account, that there are certain patterns of psychological and physical characteristics in various developmental stages that apply in almost every child. And with that being said, understanding those characteristics and psychological stages, they are what we call developmental tasks, which are the tasks that enable the educators to understand what are educational and behavioral reasons to expect from learners or child per se. So with those stages we mentioned, for teachers to be able to be equipped with that knowledge and that skill, they have to go through some training which they have to take at a higher level. That higher level is understanding the learner holistically, so looking at every aspect of a child. As I mentioned, those parts, physically, psychologically, they're continuously so. So the knowledge itself, it allows for the teachers to acquire various teaching methods which are known as the DAP. The DAP, which in full means developmental approative practice, which can be defined as an educational practice that is age and individually appropriate for each child in the teaching program. Age as well as individually appropriate. And then for teachers to plan that DAP, which is the developmental approative practice, there are three things I do believe they have to take into account, where they can look at aspects such as what developmental stages are the learners in, what are their academic abilities as well as their general psychological characteristics. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that was my part from child development, and I do believe, as we have heard from the start, that Mr. Matseha, Mr. Legala, as well as Mr. Ventin, have emphasized that part. From my side, I think I would like to do this show with an enthusiastic term that says, we as the teachers of our campus, we keep it going. I thank you.